Hey guys, I'm Wendy. This is Chris, and welcome to an intro from us. It's rare.
Do we welcome to intros?
We are now.
Welcome.
Yeah. So I think this is our second ever intro.
Yes, it is.
And we want to start doing more of these. We want to be able to connect with you and say, hey, before we do a podcast. So
we haven't been doing ramblings lately. We've been doing all interviews.
Yeah, mostly at the Lounge at the End of the Universe. And this one is...
Mixed and Misidentified comedy show.
Which means what?
Means that everyone in it is of mixed race and they are frequently misidentified.
Yes, it was really awesome.
And we also have Jackie Pearl in there from the WAP show, which is The Women Are Funny with a PH.
PHUNNY. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, we started out this interview. It's just Sharita and Tina Townes. Tina is a local comedian from the Boise area here. Sharita's from El Paso. It just started out with those two. That's all we thought we were going to have on there.
And then slowly.
Then chaos ensued.
More comics.
Yes.
Trickled in from Soup Man Productions. We had Duante. We had LJ Sullivan. Soup Man is from the Seattle area. LJ lives here. Comedian. Mm-hmm. We had Debbie Wooten, Jackie Pearl, Tina Townes, Sharita, Duante Barnett, Joey Gomez, and LJ Sullivan. Yeah, in a very small room.
Yes, everybody.
And somehow, as they kept coming in and it was loud and everybody's laughing, Chris was like, this is going to be an editing nightmare. How'd it go? And
it was, yes.
I think it turned out great.
It ended up, but I had to kind of just say, fuck it. And
we're talking at the same time. Is that the hard part?
No. It was just isolating everyone's sound, getting, there's a part where some static comes in and I don't know why. I have to remove that.
Yeah.
All the different camera switches in it. We were running 2 cameras, and just for every person it switched to, that's more work.
Yeah. At one point, LJ comes in, sits right in front of the camera that is in front of us
with
now.
With his big afro.
He has a big afro, and then he turns around. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that part's funny. So having the 2 cameras was really nice because you really got a better perspective. You can see everyone better.
Could zoom in.
You have a better shot of the person talking. So it was nice, and using some new editing skills that are making it, And
another pew is, if you don't already know, we are officially the podcasters of the Lounge at the End of the Universe.
The official podcast of the Lounge at the End of the Universe.
In Boise, Idaho. So that's exciting. And we are getting to podcast with the entertainers, the comedians,
everyone, pretty much anyone we want to come through there. So super cool opportunity. Thank you, Lounge at the End of the Universe, and Jen and Coral and Monica and all the people down there.
And so the next one coming out is the Pun Slam. That was really fun.
Yeah, Idaho Pun Slam, which was a few weeks ago. We've been a little behind. We've been super busy. So this Mixed and Misidentified was recorded a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Then the Pun Slam. We're also working on the final episode from Love You Mom and Alzheimer's Story that as soon as we put it out on its own podcast network, we're going to put it on Toasted Marshmallow Adventures so you can all listen and enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Also check out... Not everyone gets a trophy from Toasted Marshmallow Adventures Studio.
Because we are now into production.
Yeah, we're doing full service podcast production.
Yes.
So go to our website to schedule a time, toastedmarshmallowadventures.com. You can schedule a studio time or a free consultation.
With the 2 of us.
Yes.
That could be fun.
Or scary.
So let's wrap this up. But thank you guys so much for watching, listening, telling your friends, sharing, following, doing all the things, leaving comments. It helps us so much, and we're so appreciative. So with that, shall we sign it off?
Enjoy the episode.
Yeah. Thanks a bunch. Peace out.
welcome to the
Toasted Marshmallow Adventures Podcast.
Today on the show, we don't have our hype button. We're at the lounge at the end of the universe. We've got Tina Townes and Sharita, both here for the Mixed and Misidentified comedy show put on by Suitman 206.
Yes.
So awesome. Tina, we've had you on before.
Yep.
Good. Now you're on video.
Finally
you're going to be on YouTube.
You get to see the homie.
I know. I wish I should have had a third camera here, but I'm sorry.
Dang,
it's all good.
Yeah. So
we can flip it occasionally, right?
we could. Yeah. What do we got here?
We're going to be giving these away at the first show, the Misidentified show. There are passes to the Welcome to Oasis Music Festival.
Okay.
We're giving them.
We're going to give them at the very end. Everybody that comes to the show for the Misidentified gets
tickets.
Drawing at the end of the show. We will draw and they'll get the passes there. It's $300 value.
Nice.
All right. Well, maybe when you go live, we'll mention that.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. So, Mixed and Misidentified comedy show. First,
Here for it.
Sharita.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I am originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
But I am an El Paso-based comic because that's where I started my comedy career.
Okay.
So when I was 21 years old, I had the bright idea of joining the United States Army. And I served 22 years. I enjoyed it. And most people are like, what are you going to do when you get out the Army? And I was like, nothing. I'm going to sit on my couch.
Yeah.
And I became a comic instead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how'd that process go?
It's weird. You start out by going to the local comedy club because you're just going there for entertainment. You're not thinking I'm going to meet anybody there. So I'm hanging out. I was coming to the shows. And what they do is they let veterans in for free on Sunday nights. So you come with or active duty. So you go, show your military ID card, get free tickets, hang out. And then I started hanging out with the comics and getting to know them. And one day someone was like, you too can do this. And I was like, stop playing. So I was dared into open mic and performing. Of course, my first year of comedy, I sucked.
Yeah.
Sucked. Like, what?
That's part of it, right?
Yes, because it's like, I got to tell a joke, stand on stage, look like I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And then being a New Yorker, I already talk fast. So can you imagine being nervous? Oh, I'm sounding like Speedy Gonzalez talking like a mile a minute. I'm on crack. So I had to learn how to slow down and enunciate.
Yeah.
And then have patience. Let the audience clap. Because they're like, she said something. I don't know. Just clap. So I was getting sympathy claps. But no, 5 years in, I'm still going.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So it's been a pleasure and honor. All the big words because you meet in people that are just starting out, people that have been doing it for years. Yeah. And you meet famous people too. I'm sharing a stage with famous people.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
Who have you met?
Oh, Shang Forbes. If you know him from the Def Comedy World.
Shane Forbes?
Yes,
No,
Shang.
I don't know him.
Oh, really? From Def Comedy Jam.
Oh, okay.
From way back in the day, BET Comic View. He's been on that one. DJ Ashba from 6 a.m. and Guns N' Roses guitarist. I love that.
Wow.
Yes. He's following me. Like Adelaide's Ways following me on Twitter. So like you go to shows and people are like, oh my gosh, I want to be your friend. I'm like, I want to be your friend. You know? So I was like, oh. Yes. And it's like, and it's cool because the comedy world and the music world are interchangeable.
Yeah.
Because we're all entertainers and we're all trying to entertain each other. So it's like we want to like have fun and enjoy the entertainment.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hope I wasn't supposed to name drop. I don't know. So.
No. Okay, go for it.
We will hashtag all those
Yes,
names.
yes. Butch Bradley. I mean, there's so many people that you meet in the comedy world.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. That's cool. What have you been up to lately, Tina? You been doing a lot of shows? Tell us give us an update.
So I've just been working a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still at a gas station, but it's a lot of comedy fodder.
Oh yeah.
Especially with like
Getting
COVID
materials.
and stuff. Oh my God, the customers are so awful.
Yeah.
I'm not even ashamed to say this. Meridian folk are the worst.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, second worst. Eagle are the worst.
Eagles the worst.
Because Meridian folk are like, think they're too good to be considered Boise folk, but they're not rich enough to be considered Eagle folk. And everyone's just awful. Because I'm on the cusp of Boise and Meridian, so I get both.
Yeah.
I ran in at one point. Oh, it was when Peyton's car died. We were like, we think Tina works at this one. I ran in, looked around for you.
Were you ever at the one on Orchard over here in Boise?
Yeah, I think I covered there once,
okay.
yeah.
Like, I think Tina works at this one. We'll go see.
We'll go say hi. You weren't there.
Because her car broke down close to the Maverick. Yeah. So, awesome. So, have you ever been to Idaho before?
This is my first time.
Oh, okay. What do you
What do you
think of it?
think?
I like
You can
it.
be honest.
Oh, well, okay. Since you said
Be
that,
honest, yeah.
so
we know how Idaho
Okay, because I got here and I didn't know I was walking through the Museum of Natural History. Everybody stared at me like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
And I was like, I don't live here. I'm leaving. I'm only here for the weekend. Please don't kill me.
Right.
You know, I'm just here to see the sights, entertain you, and I'm going home.
Yes.
All right. So they're just like, oh my gosh. Like, and then I was like, you don't have other colored folks here? No.
No, it's just they're so trained and used to seeing me and LJ.
Well, okay, because
They were just like, who's she?
right.
She's new.
Like, there's more.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure. I would smile and wave.
Oh, good.
Smile and wave. And then I got comfortable. I'm like, hey, I'm here for a comedy show. What about you? They're like, oh, yeah. So I just started pitching a comedy show. I'm like, hey, we're going to be at the lounge, so you might as well just come out, see what I do, and then you can judge me properly.
Right.
Better, right?
Yes.
And it worked. So people have
cool.
been coming in. They're like, oh, can I follow you on Facebook and Instagram? Yeah, you know, we could be strangers still.
Oh, nice.
And it's been working.
Yeah, good.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you said you're in El Paso, right? Is there a lot of comedy clubs there?
no, right now we only have the one. We have the El Paso Comic Strip.
Mm-hmm.
And the comedy club that's about to come is Crack Me Up Comedy Club by Tommy Black. So he's still in the works of getting that up and running. And then we'll have 2 comedy clubs in El Paso.
Awesome. How big is El Paso?
I don't know.
Is it close to Austin? Because Austin is...
Actually, we're 8 hours away from, so we're really next to Mexico. So when they say the sister city of Juarez, Mexico, we're literally on the tip of El Paso, well, Texas. So it's like you're leaving to go to New Mexico, El Paso. So I was like, oh no, I'm not from there. I can't tell you like the population. I don't know.
Awesome.
'Cause-
Those-
Well, we've heard a lot of people moving to Austin,
Austin,
including
yeah.
Casey Rocket.
Yeah, QT
Yeah.
Rocket, Derek Hayden.
Oh, did
he
he
went
go?
also?
Yeah. Montana Burke backed out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just keep. You don't have to wear those if you don't want to fall out.
I was like, we're
I was
trying to
getting
be.
static in mine, so I took them off.
Oh, okay, we were trying to be all professional.
I think as long as the levels are good, I checked
Yeah.
them. I think my connections are bad. I got to buy more expensive ones.
Oh.
Yeah. So, what do we got going on? So, is it easy to get stage time in El Paso? Or?
It is. I am one of 4 producers. I produce my own shows as well. I
gotcha.
I produce 2 open mics on Wednesday night at Foul Mouse and Thursday night we're at the Pershing Inn, which is the outside patio, and it's open to all talent. So not just comedians. So if you play in a band, you're a solo artist, you're a poet. We like poetry. We like a little bit of everything in the open mic scene. And then I also produce the book showcases, because we have comics that are just brand new starting, and they think that the open mics are just it. I'm like, no, open mics is the start. You get your feel for it, and then you start getting your book shows. You start going on tour if you choose to, and you network with other comics. So that's what we're doing. And then unfortunately what happened was, if you're not getting booked for shows as much as you would like to, that's when you become a producer.
Right.
So, but
And so then the clubs pay you to produce a show?
no, what we do is I work with the venue. So I'm not working with the clubs, because the clubs have their own clientele of comics that they already work with that I can't afford. I'm not on that level. So what I do is I work with different venues and areas. So it might be a bar, it might be an actual place that has a stage. And what we talk about is, if you have a bar, you get the food and beverage sales, and I get the ticket sales. So I sell tickets on Eventbrite and tickets at the door, because some people don't like swiping a card online, which is understandable. So I pay my comics from the ticket sales, so they're making money as well.
Oh, nice.
And whatever's left over, if I make something cool, if I don't, I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the networking, and just because the general love of comedy.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know most people are like that. Oh, are we allowed to curse? Most
Yes.
people are like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a bullshit answer. No, it's not. It's like I said, I'm 5 years in. I'm still considered a baby.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it for money, good luck. Good luck. I mean, have I gotten paid? Yes, I'm fortunate enough. But at the same time, you have to let the comics grow. And if they don't know, if you're not giving them that outlet, that venue, how are they supposed to go?
Yeah.
You know, but just to put like a couple bucks in a comic's hand that's never gotten paid to do comedy before, and they light up, and they're like, oh, this is the big time. I'm in the big leagues. I'm a real comedian now.
Yeah.
Now I got to really write some material, really work on my timing. And hopefully you think they would take the comedy with more dignity and respect. You know,
How
come up
long
with
have you
a-
been in?
On and off since August 2017.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the day I started was the solar eclipse.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That is the only way I know. Like when I
I
started.
was out driving
like
for Uber at the time when it happened. I turned it off so I can watch it a little bit.
Yeah, and then like a month into it, I was invited to do like a Joke 'em if you got 'em comedy like contest, and I won the first time I did it. but that's because I was called a bringer. I had like 20 people in the crowd.
Oh,
so
wow.
Oh, really? Okay.
Nice.
half the crowd were
You
my
brought
friends
that.
because they were like, we haven't seen you yet. And I was like, y'all owe me favors.
There you go.
Yeah.
But then I won like a second time a few weeks later at that show, and I only had 2 people in the crowd, so I was like a genuine crowd favorite, so that was fun.
Yeah.
I actually just produced a show with Reese Samuels and LJ Sullivan at Brother Brown's Underground. We called it Underground Comedy. It's off of Idaho and 12th. It's in the basement of the El Cora Shriners building.
Oh.
And yeah, it was pretty fun. He allowed us the space as long as he sold like 25 plates. And it was a fun show. We had Jeremy Nelson, Tanya Cope, Kat Lizaraga. It was just a fun bunch of local comics.
Awesome.
So,
Did you sell 25 plates?
oh yeah, almost
nice.
everyone who came and bought a plate.
Nice.
Great.
So it was, he just won kind of the advertisement for his restaurant. So it was a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Wish we had some of those plates right now. I'm
Right?
starving.
Oh, we were at Soul Food Festival, and I was in
heard,
his
yeah.
line.
Yeah.
I waited for an hour just to get some ribs.
Really?
Wow.
And it was worth it because he gave me the biggest ribs. Like, gave me the good cuts.
Right. I didn't get that. I didn't get to experience that. I'm sorry.
Awesome. Let's talk about bombing on stage.
Ooh.
What about you, Sharita?
Yes,
Have
you bomb on stage, you feel it. It's in the universe, it's in the atmosphere, and you know.
Heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And you're
It's
either gonna.
Painful, right?
Wow, you talking about. Can I find a hole and just dive
Yeah.
in? Can I turn into an ostrich right now?
Yeah.
So you learn quickly to recover, and that shows your skill level. If you can recover during a bomb, and or worse, crowd work, like you run out of jokes or your jokes are not hitting, and you start doing crowd work, and if the crowd is funnier than you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Right.
So, and the first time I bombed, I was just like, Vegas, am I right? I didn't know what to do. I'm just standing there. So it took me a while. So now I don't bomb as bad. Now if I bomb, it's mostly you're saying something we don't relate to, and that's understandable. That's okay because I have to remember my comedy is not going to be for everybody,
Right.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But at least I got up there and I did my whatever time my like 5, 10 minutes, 15, whatever. I did it. You know. So you talking about sweating?
Yeah.
Like
When it's just
Yeah.
dead silent.
Oh, it's
degree
rough.
don't work on me no more. So I was like,
How bad?
Oh
Tina?
gosh, I remember like one of the first major times I bombed was at an open mic at Mad Sweet downtown. The audience was just not reactive. No, it wasn't an open mic. It was at a Juneteenth show, and they were just not reacting at all. I was just like, "You don't like that? All right, let's try this." Oh no, okay, this. Damn,
you going through your
what do
Rolodex
you
of
like?
jokes. I'm gonna get you with something.
Do you like Disney jokes? No. Damn. You know what? Can I just go home now? Like they just did not react at all. And like seeing Chris Shaw have to like deal with this crowd with no reaction, with the exception of like one guy like heckling every once in a while. And it was at the weirdest parts too. Be like in the transitions, you'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Really?
how's that?" And it's like,
Wow.
bro.
And then sometimes when you're thinking you're bombing, you're not. They will come up to you after the show and tell you, "You did great." And I'm like, "But your face. You stared at me like I like slapped your mom." Like I couldn't tell. Right? So it's like
And what we've heard is like the whole audience can be laughing, but the one person that isn't is who you guys are like, I got to get that person.
I
to
don't do
laugh."
that.
Oh, good.
I don't
think
do
that.
that.
Could drive me crazy.
Yes. I put my attention towards the people that are paying me attention.
Yeah.
Because if that's that one person, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know
Yeah.
what's in their mind. They might be spacing out for something because we all go through something.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you come into a comedy show to release some stress, have a good time, hang out with your friends, and something might have hit you right before you sat down.
Yeah.
So I don't bother that person. Everybody else is paying attention. I'm like, here's a joke for you. Here's a joke for you.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And you just hope for the best for that night.
Yeah. How do you deal with hecklers?
It depends. Like, I think the weirdest interaction I've had, again, Juneteenth. I don't know what's up with Juneteenth, but I had this one lady at the first show, and I was talking about my youth group because church is fun, and it was about my labor auction joke. And she's like,
yes.
oh, they are so fun. Like, I love doing them. And I was just like, I don't know how to respond to that. Because in my brain, I was just like, you should be like, oh, so you're a seller.
Yeah.
And then the other part was like, no, don't. God knows what rabbit hole you're about to enter if you do engage.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I don't even notice them.
Really?
Yeah, because like my brain is just so focused on, oh, they laughed, and won't hear outside noise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's helpful.
Like, I'm just listening for the laughs.
Yeah.
It's that tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes I'll try to listen to see if someone responds. But more often than not, it's just like, nah, I'm just gonna go with what I feel the room is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been at shows where it's like the heckler just completely throws off the comedian, and it's like they have to
Yeah.
restart or like
Yeah.
gather themselves. It's just stinks as an audience member.
Yeah,
Like, shut
like
it.
one of the harder ones I had to work with was at that underground show, and he was at the front, big old group of like 7 people,
Yeah.
and he was just like, like all the time to anyone on the show. And like Taco had a hard time with him because of her jokes, and I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be fun." And
Tanya Cope.
yeah, Tanya
Okay.
Cope. Sorry, I don't know why. But yeah, so I was doing my joke about Black Tina, Asian Tina, and who's the racist? And he was like, harumph, and I was like, found him, and then just went off with it. And then I just did not make eye contact with that table the rest of the night.
That would have ruined it. Like,
Yeah, because I knew like their angry faces might have been like, oh, I'm so self-conscious now.
right. No, hecklers. I find that hecklers, they're not brave enough to do what we do. They're not going to get on stage, but they want the attention.
Yeah.
And some of them, I hate it. It sounds like I'm picking on the guys, but usually if the guy's on a date, he's trying to like look good, cool for the girl, and like, you're losing bad, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on her side,
Right.
and I'm gonna take her out.
Yep.
So you really want to do this?
We can go.
Yes. And for the female hecklers, again, same thing. Reverse. They want all the attention, and they're so used to getting attention. And I'm gonna have to pull that card. I'm like, sweetheart,
Yeah.
we really want to go there.
Yeah.
But it helps build that confidence level, because a lot of people that are comics, they're self-conscious. I'm shy. I'm really shy, but on stage I have to put my persona on,
Yeah.
and I have to deal with it. So
Yeah, I actually really hate speaking in front of people. So this is just
Us too.
what
We're both
would I want to do?
introverts. This is our-
Yeah.
This is our most extroverted
Yeah.
thing we do.
It's the most
You
we
know?
talk.
Well, I mean, I was super hesitant to kind of do the podcast the first time because it's like, I don't
thought
know
we
these
were
people. This was in the middle of
serial killers, right?
nowhere. Yeah. I was just like, I might
She
die.
came to your house
we just
not
did a
knowing
post.
us. I did
Okay.
a post on
Yeah.
the
And I was like,
Right.
sure, why not? I'm sure someone else will do it.
I think you were like one of the first
was
people
because
to
Yeah. And then
respond.
he had like hospital bags on.
Oh yeah.
He had hospital bags on him
Almost
hanging
died.
up.
I
And
had, like, these drains
yeah,
on me.
the dog. The dog was chill. I was like, okay, the dog's not like
Maybe they
freaking
won't
out,
kill
so I trust the dog that I shouldn't get killed.
right, like
A little pit bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
you
little.
just-
Pickles are never little.
She was.
Not with us anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, so
Cleared
sorry.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
not-
15. I know. That was.
So yeah, like Wendy offered me a drink, and I was like, she gonna roofie.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
geez.
want to listen up? She's
Right.
like, you're gonna kill me.
It's like we actually have equipment.
Because like I tried to like I Google Maps their location. I was like, oh, it's not like a studio. It's the Airbnb.
House.
What the
Oh,
hell?
yeah.
Oh yeah, we were
Rented out.
renting a
Yeah.
room out in our house at the time on
okay.
Booking. Yeah, Booking.com.
Right.
So.
But she's alive and well.
Yes,
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Now we've all our podcast stuff. After my daughter moved out, we have like a studio now and there that we made up.
Yeah,
which is
it's not in the
pretty
front
cool.
living room.
No,
Yeah.
not in the living room anymore.
Cars.
You'll have to go down a scary hallway. Though,
Oh man,
right?
as long as the Keurig's in that guest room still, I'm okay.
Oh yeah. it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all that stuff's still in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is there anything either of you won't joke about on stage?
With me still being in the military, I will stay away. I do military jokes, but I stay away from politics.
Yeah.
And I have to still be careful of what I say, because I am still punishable by the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is the UCMJ. So my livelihood depends on my career. So I have to be careful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could take a joke, but I have to be careful of the type of jokes I do. And then I have to be careful being on stage, how I present myself. So what I wear, what I talk about. Because anybody in the show and the audience can be filming you at any given time.
Gosh, yes.
So you know, you put
and
that
with
out.
cancel culture
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
And they can sit there and edit it and twist
course.
it. And like you're standing there like, oh, I don't got a job no more. I don't know.
Wow.
You know, so I'm very careful with that. But with the Mixed and Misidentified, I'm just starting to talk about race. But again, it's me, not you.
Right.
With my
experience.
experiences with race. And I just started slowly talking about the military jokes again to me. But I do not represent the military in any form or fashion. I'm just a soldier, a single mom, and that's it. So I just talk about stuff that's relative to me. Yeah. And play it safe.
Yeah, I usually just talk about anything I've experienced personally. I don't, like, some people will be like, oh, you should talk about your exes. I was like, if it's relating to the joke, sure. Other than that, I leave most things out. I don't say my work names directly. I'll use their slogans.
Oh, yeah.
And, which is funny because, like, all the higher ups found out I was a comic. They're like, oh, you should, like, some of us, like, corporate's in town. And so I've just been avoided, like, being near the counter because they've been hitting all the stores. I was like, I hope they don't come in. Like, I took down the posters today. I was like, I don't need them coming in today and seeing, like, a poster coming in and be like, you used our slogan.
But I'm bringing you business though.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Which is funny because a lot of people have been coming to my Maverick and be like, hey, you should have showed. I was like, are you buying something at least?
Yeah.
I just want to use the restroom.
Yeah. But, yeah, I usually just try not to, like, speak directly of, like, I don't name names for shitty bosses.
Yeah.
Like, I think I do name drop Popeyes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's because it was, like, a fun first job. It wasn't, like, an awful first job, per se. I mean, it was awful, but, like, it wasn't... It wasn't so bad that I was just like, oh, I just want them to, like, crash and burn. Like, some places.
You wouldn't mind if they crashed and burned.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I'm sure.
You know, like a certain Hotel May with a number. I mean, with how many dead bodies? That,
Yeah.
Well, where else are you supposed to leave a dead body? Right.
not at a cheap motel. Like, if you're gonna do it, at least get the ritziest room in town
But have you
to leave the
not?
bill for your family.
But have you not seen the horror movies? They're always at a cheesy motel.
They are.
They have to keep with the genre.
At least do it at a mom and pop's place.
Okay.
You know, then it's not like franchise. Then it's like legit, like
Yeah.
niche, niche murders.
Niche murders. Yeah.
So are you guys nervous for the show tonight, or do you get nervous prior to going on?
Yes, so I'm always excited to be on the show because I'm grateful to be on the show. And right before you get on, you look at the crowd, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And then I start getting nervous.
What does that look like? For me, it's clammy hands.
Clammy. Oh, my glands. I'm sweating again. Like my degree left me.
Yeah.
I'm shaking like a leaf in January. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm fine. Sometimes I'll have the butterflies in the stomach, nervousness, that kind of. And then I'm like going over my head like, this joke's not going to work, this joke's not going to work. And then as soon as I hit the stage, it goes away.
Oh, nice.
It goes away. It's weird.
It's a calm.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I only do bad at shows that I'm not nervous at, which is like, I guess, superstition.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not nervous, you're not doing something right.
Right.
So you want to go out there, do your best, entertain the crowd. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I back out? No. Oh, it was my turn? Oh, okay. Oh.
I pace and I'm just like, what am I going to do? Why did I not like play in a set?
So you don't?
I usually don't. Like, I have like my jokes clustered and I'll just kind of be like, oh, what topics do I want to talk about? Which I should probably just write out like, oh, these are the jokes that I want to, so I can reference easier instead of like flip. Oh God, which ones?
Panic.
Yeah, and then I'll go look at the crowd. Like last night, the stage setup was different downstairs than what I've seen, so I was just like, oh no. And I was like, okay, and there was like, heard my name, ha ha ha.
It's like, you're
And then like sometimes it doesn't even leave me until I know I've messed up, and it's like, okay, it happened. Let's go. Let's finish this.
Right.
That's great. No, I have my set list. I make sure that I have the jokes that I want to do, and then like I have my like, oh shit moments. I'm like, all right, crowd work. But I try to stay away from crowd work because it seems like people judge you. Like the more crowd work you do,
Like
they're like,
other
oh,
comedians,
yes,
or-
because they're like, oh, so you don't have no jokes or you didn't prepare your set. So it's like, you just be careful with the crowd work. But at the same time, is you want to invite the crowd into your home. Like, hey, the stage is my home. Welcome to my home.
Yeah, like
This
I
is
feel like
me.
crowd work can supplement the joke in itself.
Or save your set.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, we were just at a show in Reno where every person that came up did crowd work at the end, and we figured it was because the crowd was so quiet and they were trying to up the energy to like get us involved.
It's Whitney Cummings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
In Reno, yeah.
And you-
Taylor Tomlinson.
Right, and
Yeah.
you'd be shocked because like it's like though they're super famous comics, so you're thinking, oh, they can hold a room, no problem.
Yeah.
No, it
You
just
could
depends.
feel it when it kind of left
Yeah,
the
it was
audience, the
we
energy
weren't
did.
that
Oh,
impressed
yeah.
with that show.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. Before we go on tonight, at the end of the Mixed and Misidentified show, they're going to be giving away 2 tickets to the Oasis Music Festival. So come on down.
How much?
To,
What was the value?
they are $150 a piece. So
Holy crap!
$300
Oh, 3 days.
in tickets. 3-day event.
Wow.
I don't know where it is. It doesn't say, but
It's in Mountain Home.
I think so.
come on down.
To the lounge.
You're going to win a pair of tickets.
Woohoo!
Yes. So
I love me some music.
sweet. Yeah, free stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not Mountain Home. Not worth it.
Oh, well.
That's where our Air Force Base is. So it's base town basically.
Go Army, be Navy. Because they share the base with the Air Force.
How do you get time off to come do this stuff? Do you have to put in leave or do you just? We'll cut this out?
No, not at all.
Based
No,
on
no.
that face?
No. I'll tell you. So what happened was, I have to translate this to civilian talk.
Yeah.
So I did 18 years active duty service, and then I had the RCP, retention control point, which meant as an E5, you cannot stay in the Army past 15 years. You have to get promoted. I didn't get promoted in that time. So they switched me over to the reserves. So I've been in reserves since 2017. So I have 5 years with the reserves, and then I got promoted. So that's how. So reserves, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the
that's
year.
awesome.
So it worked out. It worked itself out. So now, unfortunately, like this weekend, I was supposed to be at drill. They just told me. I was like, I'm not in town. So they're like, oh, don't worry about it, as long as you're alive.
Nice.
So I've told many people in my unit that, hey, I'm a comic, and they're like, are you good? Come to the show. Yes, I'm good.
Pay me.
Yes, they're paying me to
for a
tell
ticket,
jokes.
yeah.
Yes, come out here. So on the reserve side of the house, yes, but we have some active duty soldiers that do comedy, and you let them know when you're going to be, and they try to work with your schedule. Now you got to remember though, the Army's first. And comedy, it doesn't really count. It's like, hey, no, you signed up. You be.
Yeah.
So it works. So I'm grateful that on the reserve side, my comedy career kicked off. So, but I'm also too stupid to turn in a retirement packet because I'm like 22 years in. They're like, retirement's at 20. I was like, yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I'm still in because I'm like, I don't know if I want to get out yet.
Yeah.
You know, this is my bread and butter. It helps me take care of my children, and the benefits, of course, are like lovely.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then I joined Army when I was 21, so I grew up in the military. So this is like all I know.
Yeah.
So for me to get out and just get a job, I'm like, man, I gotta listen to somebody else now.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to listening to them, right?
Right, but it's a different kind of listening.
Yeah.
They yell at you, you're like, all right, calm down.
Yeah,
Like
like
somebody else yells at me.
I
I'm
have
like,
a
hold on.
cousin who's in the Air Force, and she's taking courses for just normal HR through like call it with the GI Bill because she's just like, I do HR military. Civilian HR makes no sense.
Yes.
Because she's just like, it's my resume has like 25 years gap
Yeah.
from like high school. So
Right.
what
Yeah.
do
So
I
it's
tell
like,
them?
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Sharita, and then we'll ask you, Tina, your goals as a comedian. I mean, is that your end goal to be famous or?
Not so much as famous. My
just
goal is
making
just to
some money.
make sure that I'm successful at it. Like I'm making people laugh. I'm inspiring people that would never think. You have a lot of people that love comedy, and for them to sit there and say, I want to go to open mic and get on stage. What? Yes. We inspired a lady last night. She said, I'm going to the next open mic. I said, I won't be here for that because I don't live here. But yes, girl, do it. And believe it or not, there's not that many female comics.
Yeah.
because the way that the culture is in the comedy world, not a lot of
Boys
females-
Club.
It is.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's I got a dick. I was like,
Yeah.
I've had dick. So you gotta like find your way in there.
Yeah.
So and that's what I do. I just go, and that's my goal, just to be funny and entertain people. Because if you put too much into it and it doesn't work out, then you're disappointed. It's like high school. What are your short-term and long-term goals? Survive. Let's just start with that.
Yeah.
So that way you take out the disappointment. So if it doesn't go your way, you tried it and you had fun and you move on.
Yeah.
So that's
And you're meeting cool people.
what,
and
the
you're-
networking? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah, that's why we love doing this. We've met a lot of cool people,
Yes.
and we plan to meet more.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're saying they might be bringing like Wanda Sykes or Sarah Silverman here.
that would be
and
awesome.
They're said we can probably get them on the podcast with you. So I was like, sweet. Yeah. So what about you?
This is just merely a hobby for me. Like, my goal is to get good enough that Alvin Williams has to actually hold his end of the bet, which is if I come out with an album by like 2025, he has to buy me Nikes, like brand new Nikes.
Nice. He's the shoe guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's just like, if you have a solid like hour album, I was like, deal. Save now.
Some Jordans or what?
I don't know.
I know because I watched.
I might find like the bougiest ones that I will never wear. Just be like, here's the most expensive pair that come in my size.
Hey.
But I mean, like, I started this out of pure spite.
I remember the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feisty.
Yeah. Okay. So, my ex, was a comic as well. And, a lot of his friends told me I was funny. So I was like, okay, I'll do an open mic. And he heard a rumor of a joke, which he made it feel like it was about himself, but it wasn't. So I was like, you know what? And he sent me a 13-part text message about like how he was going to sue me for libel and like defamation of character. And I was mad because I lost the game of whoever looks at their cell phone pays for the phone bill, for the dinner bill. And I was with 15 friends. So of course I was mad. And then I was like, guys, we're going to this open mic on Monday, which was the solar eclipse. And I did my 3 minutes. And I just stared him in the eyes the entire time. And then I just kept going until, like, I made him so uncomfortable he left. Like, I know that's so low and spiteful, but I was just like,
Yeah. That's why they say
don't put words in my mouth.
Right. That's why they say don't
This
date
is my
comics.
scene now.
I do say that.
But I'm dating a comic.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I mean, I am too. So.
It's like, hey,
Nice.
you win. But I don't believe that. Like, any job that you have, you work well with somebody, you're going to date them.
Yeah.
You're around them, you learn
It's also
them.
kind of helpful. Bounce
does.
ideas off.
Yes, yes. I'm like, do you think this joke's funny? I'm like, if I tell you no, you're not going to do it.
Well, for
I
a
might not
lot of
think
the
it's
times,
funny, but
for me, it's the time when my boyfriend, I was like, you probably shouldn't say that as a white man.
Ooh,
Just
yeah.
saying. And he's like, what? I was like, don't. Just trust me.
right.
Probably shouldn't use like a black person getting framed for a crime they didn't commit as a punchline.
Oh,
And he was like, oh, okay. Can I keep the rest of the joke? I was like, yeah, the rest of the joke's fine.
Awesome. Sweet. So let's see, what else do we got on our thing here? What is the worst thing about being a comedian?
not getting paid when somebody says, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you,"
Oh,
And-
having a lot.
hmm
Oh.
and then it's like, professionally, we're adults, so you don't go and badmouth that person. You don't go on
Yeah.
Facebook, go so and so. Be an adult. Approach that person. Be like, "Hey, you say you're gonna pay me. You didn't pay me."
And
If it's-
then.
Right,
And then
right.
trash 'em.
Now, I can understand if it was a financial situation, like with my situation, Eventbrite. So, but I always make sure that I have a pot that I'll pay comics out of, and then when Eventbrite pays me, I already have the money, put it back in the pot. Because people don't like to wait. You don't know what else is going on. And it's good in services. We can't go to Walmart and be like, well, when Eventbrite pays me, I can pay you back. No.
Yeah.
You have to pay up at front. And you have some people that'll dick you around and be like, well, I'll pay you later. Or they try to forget that they owe you. And then turn around and want you to work with them again. You can't do that. You're not building a good rapport.
No.
You know? And then some people will bash you because they don't know, or they're hurt. You never know. So professionally, I will let you know, but hey, you stole me. But if I like working with you and I know I'm going to get paid on the end, I might keep going. But after like 3 times, I'm out because it's not fair.
No.
You know? No. So if pay what you owe.
Yeah.
Pay what you owe,
exactly.
you know?
What time does the show start tonight? Is it at 8?
Yes.
8-ish, I think.
8,
So some
okay.
people from the festival can come down that were vendors and stuff. Can make it down, yeah.
Okay, there's going to be vendors down there?
Yeah, they're vendors coming to watch the show, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it might be 8-ish. I don't know. CP time? CP time.
Sure.
Colored people time.
I was about to say, wait, you lost me. Is that a Boise time? Remember, I'm not from here.
All right, and before we get out of here, is there any comedians that either of you would love to meet?
Woo-wee.
Who would it be?
Wanda Sykes, Gina Yasher, she's funny, she's from London. Eddie Murphy, of course. I grew up in New York. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence.
Oh, Martin Lawrence.
Yes,
Love him.
it's just so many.
I'll say this one weird off. Jimmy Fallon, so I can punch him in the throat.
In the throat? Why is that?
I don't like
You
him.
just hate him.
I don't know. It's something about his face.
You just hate him.
Like your face. I started to hate him once he was in Taxi. Hey.
What up?
In.
Am I interrupting?
No.
Never. No such
How's it
thing.
going? We've been talking about getting you on the podcast
Yes,
for a
we
long
have.
time.
For a minute, and then they
Pull up a chair. There's a chair right there.
Yeah, I don't have a 5th mic, but
We'll talk loud enough.
set that in the
There you
middle
go.
there. Let's get.
He's all awkward.
Welcome.
Yeah, I had no idea this was happening.
What?
Yeah,
Look what
we
you
were
Excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, this is exactly what I do on my podcast, Tina.
There's a camera behind you, too, so your hair is all in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh,
Y'all
yeah,
got
it is.
Can't see.
multiple angles. Hold on.
His
No.
locks of
All right,
love.
You don't need to see us, as long as you can see y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, so we've back on our way back from Reno, we were actually listening
Yeah,
to your
we were.
podcast.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
one we were
nice.
talking about the comedy festival and things like that. So who's headlining tonight? Was that
That'd
you?
be me.
Okay, I thought
Yeah,
so, 'cause
yeah,
you had
yeah,
the
yeah.
Picture at the bottom, awesome.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
that's me.
We saw you about a month ago at Mad Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that spot's been blowing up.
Chris
The
Shaw.
downtown place. Yeah. And I'm working over there too, so it's the day job and
the night job.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. Are you doing any traveling right now for shows?
I don't have anything outside of Idaho scheduled right now. But I am trying to get out. I got a friend out in Chicago. And so the idea is to go visit them and then hit up all the comedy spots out there. I have one connection from the Northwest Black Comedy Festival that I did out in Portland. KJ Whitehead. So,
KJ, I know her.
yeah, you know her
Yes,
too. Yeah.
yes, I've done a lot of shows with her.
Once I got all my shit together and I'm about to go out there, I'm gonna hit her up and see if she can point me the right direction. So yeah, that's the next move, is to just sort of get out there on my own and start networking and stuff.
Sweet. Did you perform during the pandemic? Not that it's really over now, but
Yeah, we're in the weird gray area now.
Yeah.
Shit. No, I tried to keep it moving, and the lounge was pivotal in that, they were a great space. Not just for pandemic rules enforced in-person shows, but also they have great studios here for Zoom shows and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, the lounge really came in clutch with that and sort of allowed me to keep working throughout the whole.
Yeah, I remember seeing you on the Comic of the Month, like at the beginning.
Yeah,
we were watching it on Facebook.
Absolutely,
We
yeah.
were so happy for that. 'Cause
We're like,
all
at
the
least
shows
something,
stopped. We
you
were like,
know,
what do we do now?
Yeah, no, it was pivotal, and I
Yeah.
definitely feel like that was super helpful to me to be able to keep working where a lot of comedians had to take like a whole year just to
Took it off.
Yeah. And like
Oh,
no, and
word.
like
That's right.
it's everybody had like their own stuff going on, but I just was like real happy that I still had a place to do comedy.
Yes, I love those Zoom shows. I met
awesome.
so many people networking
you
with the
liked
Zoom
them?
shows. Yes, because
Nice.
it kept you fresh.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like they were talking shit about the Zoom shows. Oh,
They
that's
were.
not real comedy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but you sitting there watching Netflix specials.
Right.
So
I
what's
know.
the
Yeah,
difference?
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the Zoom shows definitely give experience for having to deal with silence.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Oh, yeah, you
Yes.
couldn't hear.
Because I've only like kind of sat in one.
Yeah.
Since I have a tablet, I was like, this is awkward.
Yes.
I don't have anything to hold this tablet, so I'm just gonna be that like unmarked square.
Photo,
Yeah.
Yes, and you're watching like the clap emoji come in or the laugh emojis come in.
Hearts.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, I'm killing it. And then you're trying to do your set, but you're reading a chat, and like, you heckling me in the chat? How rude!
Yeah, right.
But you keep it going, and so the Zoom shows were it was great.
Yeah.
It was
What
great.
about
It kept us going.
outside shows? Did you guys?
What's wild is Boise didn't really start doing the outside shows until like recently.
Yeah.
Recently, a few comedians in town have
Crystal
been doing
Moore
like
is doing clown.
Crystal Moore, to her credit, was doing outside shows here before anybody else in
Yeah.
Boise was.
Yeah.
Her curbside comedy,
I
her
definitely
whole
paid
thing
for her to
was.
come do that.
Yeah,
You do?
and it's
Yeah,
we've been
it's
talking
wild.
about
She
doing
does
that.
a whole. She dresses in clown
Yeah.
and like goes will literally
Yeah.
pull up to a curb and just do comedy,
Yeah.
which is so brave.
It is.
But then
shit.
we have a few other people. Emma Arnold in town is getting ready for her next album recording, so she's been doing some like private backyard shows.
Okay.
And then one of the comics on the WAP show here tonight, Sarah Raffaella, she's been doing, just started doing a backyard comedy show in her backyard. So the outside stuff is like just hitting Boise. You know, Boise's always a little bit behind everybody
Yes.
else. So
There was that one outside mic, but nobody really went to it.
oh yeah, there was Lost Grove outside, but then
I mean, there was
they started
like,
that
noise
like.
complaints and-
Well, they started that like they started doing that up again because that was something we had before the pandemic, and they started doing that up again like just I want to say a month or so before that crazy heat wave hit, and like it was just
Never
unbearable
stopped.
to be outside. So they
Yeah.
were just like they slowly like phased it out. So we'll see what happens over there, but.
Yeah. Two things I've actually been wanting to talk to you about.
Yeah.
One, when we saw you at the Crescent, this was pre-pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Tampa,
Yeah.
Talking about making omelets
yeah.
and flipping.
Oh
them.
yeah.
Right?
I have the omelet bit. I just did the
Yeah.
omelet bit at Crescent. I was there like a couple Fridays ago, and I
okay.
rebirthed
we were out
that
of town
bit.
for
Yeah.
that one,
Yeah. Actually, what happened is I had a brunch show right before that. I was like, a brunch show? I have to do the omelet bit. I hadn't done the omelet bit in like a year,
Yeah.
and so I
wow.
was like, I got to bring it back.
Yeah.
So it's been coming back. Yeah.
No, and the thing I was thinking while you're telling this joke, I was like, don't flip an omelet.
Yeah.
It fall apart.
Yeah, it's never.
Yeah, you gotta get the fold.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
critical.
Hey,
It's Jackie. What's up?
I'm just gonna hand that to you.
Okay.
Okay. What's your
Okay.
name?
We got one more
My
person
name
coming.
is Jackie Pearl.
Jackie Pearl. Okay, you're a comedian.
I am. That's what they say.
That's what I'm saying. Are
They-
you doing the WAP show tonight?
I am. I did it last night too.
Sweet.
Wap 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 wap.
Women are funny, yes.
This is the first time she's been in Boise.
Where are you from?
I am originally from Honolulu,
Okay.
and I moved to Sacramento, and I live there now.
Oh, okay. I'm from Vallejo.
Okay.
so-
Yeah, we're neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
We're neighbors.
Is it Debbie Wooten?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Where are you from?
Originally from Chicago, but now in Portland.
Oh, okay. Awesome. You came out for the Mixed and Misidentified show?
Yes, I'm very mixed and I need to identify
Okay.
what's going on with me.
Nice.
And I think having this group session on stage is very nice.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for coming out. Is this your first time to Idaho, or you been?
No,
here before?
I've been here several times.
Okay.
Yes, I spoke at the University of Idaho, and the keynote speaker.
Not only that,
training.
but in April, Debbie was our multi-headliner. She headlined
Okay.
Dark Brew and WAP when we came in April and did our first weekend of Suitman showcases.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
So that's what kind of set the stage for this. And most Idahos said they wanted to see her again. So when we did this
And
again.
they proved it. Sold
Yeah.
out house last night.
Sold out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the people you work with said they want to see you again too. You know.
I know.
Awesome. So what's your? Do you have a style of comedy?
It's human.
Human comedy.
Yeah, it's human.
Okay.
It's about marriage, divorce,
Okay.
kids, grandkids, fat, skinny, rich, poor.
Yeah.
You know,
long you been doing it
blowjobs, and I had all kinds of stuff. Is this a church thing? I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you can cuss, you can say all the words.
Which one are you asking about? How long she been doing blowjobs or comedy?
No,
Hold on.
Comedy. I didn't hear the blowjob.
Actually, I teach classes. I teach the young women how to keep their man.
Yeah.
You know, and
Okay.
She's
I
not
teach, and I
talking
teach
about
the
comedy.
young mothers how to discipline
I've
their
heard
kids.
about those classes.
And I teach, that's what I teach. I'm an elder teaching the young people things because, I'm 65 years old now. So, yeah, I know I look 64, but,
Watch out. We call white women cougars. That's a puma.
Okay.
Her talons are out. Watch out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. What have you been up to, Dante? You've been on the show before.
We're bringing Deaf Comedy Jam, our show where we translate comedy for deaf people. We're doing that in October. We got Craig Gass, who's what's called a coda, a child of a deaf adult, and he's going to headline the show and do a whole show about talking about that. It's a weird perspective because if both of your parents are deaf and you're hearing, how does that work? And like they did a show about the little
How do
people.
you discipline a kid if you can't yell at if you
You
can't?
can yell. Just
I
you're still yelling because let me tell you, fucker, they're gonna be laughing at the show. And it's funny you say that because like when we did Def Comedy Jam the first time, we had the guy on there and I had a guy in the audience and he was just looking at us. And every time I'd hear a joke, I'd hear this horrible laugh of ah. So after the second laugh, I went up there and asked, "Who's And he raised his hand. I was like, "I'm gonna need some more money." Yeah, you're laughing at every joke. I can tell you're laughing at every joke. And then I'm looking at lining up a fully deaf opener. And then I'm partial deaf. So now we've got 3 different gradients of the deaf community. Somebody who's grown up around it, forced to be around it. And then like Craig does great impressions. And LJ kind of tests this. I'm pretty good at impressions myself, and it's because we only hear what we hear.
Yeah.
And if you didn't notice, I'm actually a little quieter this time, right? I got a hearing aid.
Oh, yeah.
And that was fucked up, too.
I didn't notice you being quiet.
Go fuck yourself. That's very white of you, buddy. All you guys are loud.
Yeah.
It's 1 or 2 octaves. It's not a major.
Hey, go fuck yourself. That's your white side coming out, too. But it was weird because, like, I went on a date, and at first I was sitting there, and the lady who's the black woman over the time, so I could hear those old black ladies talking, and they looked over, and I said, "Oh fuck, they heard me." So I took out my hearing aid, right? And then later I wasn't hearing too well, so I put it back in, and I heard this gurgling noise, and I look over, and there's this little kid, and the lady looks at me and says, "Oh, Johnny, stop." I said, "No, it's okay. I just got a hearing aid." She said, "Oh, a couple months ago." I said, "No, it's Sunday," and this was like Tuesday. She said, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, it's weird. I like hearing him. I just heard the little fucker sucking with his straw," and then the mom looked away, and I said, "Why'd she look away?" And my date was like, "You just called her son a little fucker." I said,
Nice.
The world is not an open mic, unfortunately.
It was funny though. It was funny, but
And just because you can't hear doesn't mean everybody else can't hear you.
and then we got some other great news. A public radio station, I think it's Central Coastal Media out of Oregon, picked up all the Suitman productions.
Oh, wow.
So all our shows that I've ever recorded,
Yeah.
I have the audio on. So our first show we did, Mixed and Misidentified
shit,
Boise, was the
okay.
first Suit Man showcase I submitted for comedy. Autistic Artist is now going to be on there every Sunday.
Okay.
Dayton with Disabilities aired last night on Central Oregon on radio.
That is fantastic.
Wow. That's your podcast, right?
Yeah. So everything we do, Suitman Productions, will now be on Central Oregon radio. So if you're driving through Salem, hitting, I think it's 98.3 or 95.3, one of the two. Fuck, I should probably know that. But hit up one of those, and you can drive through Central Oregon, and you'll hear,
All right. I know you have a podcast, too. Anyone else in here with a podcast? You do.
There
What's
you
yours
go.
called?
Yeah, tell us about
It's
it.
the
Here's Joe
Nighttime
Gomez.
Oh, shit. We got another one coming in? Oh, my God.
Jeez.
Round the other backside.
Round the river bend.
We got it. We got it. We
I will
got
fit
it.
everyone in.
he's Mexican.
right?
He's used to cramming everybody. He's like,
Today
it's nothing.
on Instagram.
right on.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, we got everyone else in here.
Yeah.
Is this the whole Mixed and Misidentified
Showcase?
show?
I think
I think-
we're all
Yeah,
in
this
the
is the
room
whole
right
show.
now.
Everybody,
Yeah.
nice.
This is the whole
Alright.
show right here.
Yeah.
Jackie's,
We're just squeezing everyone
Plus a
in.
little bit of WAP. We had to
Yeah,
bring a
WAP.
little bit of WAP in here.
Jackie's part cougar, part sarcomom. I guess that's how.
Yeah, I don't know what I am.
How long you been doing comedy for?
About 4.5 years.
4.5. And what made you decide to get into it? Because what were you doing before that?
I have a degree in journalism. I was managing an anatomic pathology lab and a pharmacy. I divorced my husband and moved to
you
California, and
said,
at the age of
"Fuck it,
52
I'm gonna tell
decided I'd
jokes."
see,
Yeah.
see if I was funny.
Yeah. Awesome. I was listening to your podcast, and I just wanted to ask you about your setup because you were bitching about your sound.
Oh yeah,
last
I
one
have
listened
the worst jankety home setup of a podcast
to.
ever.
Okay, what are you working with?
I'm like this, like
You're
literally,
holding it, yeah. You
haven't been to
like
jump-
I need to get some of these arms. Is what I
Yeah,
need to get.
yeah,
I
these
need
are
the
great.
arms, and I just need a couple more mics because
It's
one
on
of
the front
my
camera there.
One of my mics is the first mic that I was working with, so I kind of abused it a little bit. And then I got my second mic, my backup mic, which is doing good work now. But I want to start bringing more guests on, so I need to start getting like a third, fourth, fifth mic. Y'all are running into a similar situation now. Like I need more mics, more mic arms, and right now I'm recording in my kitchen just because it's a very accessible area. My bedroom's a fucking mess, so I gotta get my life together a little bit, and hopefully one day I'll be able to set up my room to be a recording area as well as a living area. So that's the goal for the podcast, for that fucking podcast. Nice. So yeah.
Podcast.
Tell us about yours.
Yes, my podcast. Thank you. My podcast is called Nighttime Shenanigans with Sharita, and my podcast is live. So when I'm in El Paso, Texas, I'm working with Bean Lock Studios with my producer Luisa, and we do the podcast there. But when I'm on location, I use my phone and I'm streaming to 3 networks. I'm on my YouTube channel. I'm on my Facebook Live, of course, and also my Twitch because I'm a gamer. So, yes, and it's like
hit me with the Twitch channel.
Yes,
I'll follow you on Twitch.
Right,
I
so
watch
Tiger
Twitch.
Lily, Twitch.
She's going to be going live in about, 20 minutes backstage in the green room. So in about 20 minutes when we wrap this up, she's going to start going live with all these guys.
Exactly.
And giving the backstage persona. Yeah.
Yes. And I like going live because, like, I'm not cool with the sitting down editing. I don't have time for that. So I just do it live and it's in your face.
No, it's tough
It's all
to learn.
insulting. It's like, fuck your mic, fuck your editing.
That's
I mean
one of
like
the
that,
things I have a hard time with is learning the editing.
Yes.
It takes time.
Learning the editing is difficult. So I can understand wanting to just go live.
And then also,
it.
when you have a podcast and you're trying to be competitive with everybody else that has a podcast, it's like, well, what makes your podcast more different than this person's podcast? What makes it stand out? Exactly.
Exactly. That's kind of the whole point.
Right. And my podcast, what I do is I'm promoting you. So you come on my show, whatever you have going on, promote it. And then I take it and I make jokes.
Okay.
So you might get roasted depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Or I'll just take a comedic take. Sometimes I don't have guests and I have to do the show just me. So I wanted to talk about the behind the scenes of being a comedian. And it's just, but gender neutral. It doesn't always have to be, I'm a female comedian. You should know by my little A cups that, I'm a female, So I shouldn't have to say that every time. But, what's fun? He's got A cups too. Yes.
You should know about my D cups.
You need to be quiet about that right now. All right.
Joe Gomez.
Let's talk to Joe.
Where we go? I've known this fucker for 25 years. We went to elementary school together, middle school and high school.
Really?
So it goes back. It's weird for us to even be on the stage together, let alone on the road together.
Yeah.
And then now he's doing Joke Daddy and starting to produce himself. I was on his podcast. So.
Oh, shit. What's your podcast?
It's Laugh With Me. I'm using the Anchor platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're out there on Apple, Spotify.
Yeah, so it does all the heavy lifting for us.
Yeah, exactly. It puts you on Google Podcasts.
Now, are you doing your own editing? Are you live?
I am doing my own editing.
Okay,
and I ran into some troubles doing the editing on like Zoom. Because during the pandemic, we're doing some Zoom interviewing. Trying to edit that down and put it on the format did not work.
Yeah.
But that's just part of the troubleshooting. That's part of the experience. So we still put out the episodes and had a blast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
we did
awesome,
some Zoom stuff. I mean, I kind of like the Zooms. So I was watching a little bit of your comedy. How long you been doing it for?
What's that? How long have I been doing it? 3 years.
3? Did you say 10? Oh, we got 10. Okay, cool.
10 minutes. I've been doing comedy for 10 minutes.
Veteran.
Yeah. Quite
Superstar
well-versed.
status.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly. So who are your comedic influences?
Duante Barnett.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
No, that's my skin tone, brother. No. I look up to a lot of people, actually. John Mulaney is actually one of my favorites, and I know
I like John Mulaney.
People like either hate him or love him.
Yeah,
and he's more my style. I tell stories.
Respect him. I feel like that's a
solid,
good middle ground.
I like his first special. I didn't like his TV show that much. Though.
His TV show was kind of lame.
Yeah,
no, his specials have been great, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So before we get off here, I got to give a shout out to somebody I might not always agree or disagree, but half this lineup wouldn't be here without Nico Lukoff. He started a group called Displaced Comedians. It's here.
He's here.
Shouted out in weird places. It's a group on Facebook that pretty much brought together
Displaced Comedians. Okay,
It brought together a lot of people throughout the country who probably wouldn't even be around. Jackie wouldn't be here. Sharita wouldn't be here. Right.
I met Sharita and LJ through.
I see her on
Displaced
there.
Comedians.
We're not going to talk about that one.
Don't talk about. Okay.
No, that one's.
I just
and that's the best part is now that we're on the Displaced Comedians, we got internet beef and real beef. It's awesome. Fuck. No, but.
Have beef. Are you really a comic?
Oh shit! Oh, is that where we're going? Is that what we're doing? I mean, I must be one hell of a comic. I got all kinds of shit. Never mind. Shit. You ain't heard nothing. Ask him.
It's what's for dinner.
It's what's for dinner.
But the best part about this is we bring together. I think what we're doing here in between, especially with LJ and Sarah and Bree and Tilly and some of the things Reese is doing and Tina and even Haley and some of the other comics, they're bringing me enough people to bolster what I'm bringing in town. Awesome. And so you're getting a blend of the natural comics, not natural, but the local comics and the local talent that's rising. Yeah. And then I'm able to bring in a veteran and a queen and a princess and all those things and a legend like Debbie Wooten, and then still bring in the newer
Have you been
crew.
on TV?
Yeah.
You look familiar.
4 movies.
Yeah, okay.
What movie's coming out now? Tell us about that movie.
September 17th, the movie Christmas Freak will be
Christmas
out.
Freak, okay.
And it'll be it's going to be opening in Portland at
Okay.
McMinnon's for a whole week, and then it'll go
nice.
see, and then you probably go right to Netflix. My first movie, The Pony Man, where I co-starred with Dennis Moore. And they were just looking for a middle-aged black woman. I show up with braces and a scooter and everything. I lay in the park.
got you,
But anyway, it's on a Video Prime or Prime Video. How you say
Amazon
it?
Prime. Okay.
Yes, it's got 5 stars, so you can look at it right now.
What's the name of it again? Give us the name one more time.
The Pony Man.
The Pony Man. Okay, we'll have to check that out. All right, well, let's get out of here. I want to thank everyone for being here.
Yeah, this was lovely. Yeah, absolutely.
LJ.
Absolutely.
Hot diggity.
Hey, before we go, we got to shout out one more person, actually, a whole group of people. Coral, Jen, Monica, John, Matt. Who else we got? Brian. The rest of the fucking staff. Jen, yes. We wouldn't be doing any of this without them. Yes.
Holler.
The lounge at the end of the universe. The lounge at the end of the universe. Toasted marshmallows. We love you guys.
Yes,
Superman Productions.